The Indianapolis Motor Speedway is well known as one of the most iconic tracks in American racing. 2.5 miles of high speed each and every time around, and with qualifying just beginning in the Highline Racing League Premier Series once again, this is the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150 here in Indy. Drivers going to get on the move as qualifying has indeed just begun, and we've got ourselves a total of 19 drivers registered as it stands for the 75-lap main event. You got drivers going for the very first time. Of course, you're going to see Brad Crest there making his way out. Kenny Brooks also on the way, not to mention Alan Cummins also going to be in the mix, and drivers hitting speeds over 185 miles an hour on their way out of pit road. That's how fast this track is, and Indy going to be live once again on FTN. Great to have you all aboard the second part of our doubleheader tonight. I'm David Kreutz, leading through all the action, producing and commentating, and this one's going to be a quick one, but of course that's if we get those clean races we've been looking for. Past few weeks, haven't seen all too much. Now we've got a few drivers with some penalties as a result of the most recent race at New Hampshire. Dylan Clark, who's registered for the session right now, is suspended for the remainder of the season. Matthew Rodriguez is also suspended for this race. So two of the regulars are going to be caught up in the action later in New Hampshire, and they got into trouble fighting yellow flags. You saw drivers spinning each other multiple times over, and that's what results in the penalty today. So as things go on in Indianapolis, keep that in mind. Multiple drivers not going to be seen tonight, and Dylan Clark not for the rest of this season. And in addition, it's also going to be a very close title fight. Brad Crest has the advantage right now, but only has it by just about a point here. Multiple other drivers in the midst, such as Adam Bozzi, who's right there, not to mention Scott Zellner, who's been hot as of recent, making up a lot of time, and Zellner comes across the line that time through 52. 309 for the man in the number 2 machine. Go up to the pole position right now. It's going to be Scott Zellner up on top for now. Bozzi going to be second, and Ryan Potter rounds out the podium here in qualifying so far. And the top 3 now, going to see Lucas Lodano make his way up into it. 7 minutes and 36 seconds remain. Almost every driver has taken at least one lap so far. Michael Deitch going to be back on the move here, and he finds himself returning to the Highline Racing League after his debut in Charlotte in the Premier Series. Deitch back once again and finds himself an opportunity after, of course, regulars getting suspended. So the field going to see a few more of our Truck Series drivers make it back up for tonight. Alan Cummins also going to be on the way right now. That's the number 8 machine, working high off the corner, getting very loose. And at the line, he's trying to go for a 52.79 or better. His first lap was a 52.79, and at the stripe, it's a 52.954 as Cummins puts it up into 13th. Now, Justin Gibbs going to come across the line for his final lap, and for Gibbs, it's going to be a 52.961 the first time around. Now, going for his second and last, Dylan Petit, the only driver not to take a qualifying time to this point. And Dylan is going to be on pit road right now, so not sure what the game plan is for this number 31. When he is done with his qualifying run, the session will expire. So it's going to be up to Dylan and up to Justin Gibbs right now to set our qualifying grid. Gibbs, the penultimate driver out on the track. Dylan Petit going to be the absolute last of which. And now it's going to be DJ Stagner up to the top of the board by 36 one-thousandths of a second. Gibbs making it around this time behind number 93, looking to wrap things off with a successful turn 3 and 4, about on the same pace as he was before. So at the line for Justin Gibbs, about a speed of 189 miles an hour. He's already up to, and he gets up to 195 at the stripe. And Gibbs goes for 53.103, putting him in 15th. 15th place is going to be just ahead of Michael Deitch and Tyler Rush. Now, Dylan Petit's still going to be on the track right now, but has opted not to go for a qualifying time. So as it stands, qualifying nearly concluded, and DJ Stagner is going to be the fastest man on the order so far. Stagner there, 36 thousandths of a second, as it's going to be the number 64 machine, advantageous to this point. Halfway down in qualifying, halfway to go, waiting on one driver to get moving. Dylan Petit shows signs of life and gets now on the way. 31 machine, the final driver now, waiting for everyone else to go by, and now it's his time to shine as he gets the equipment back rolling. The Caterpillar number 31, new look as well, as you'll see. Pink, as many drivers here in the Highline Racing League have taken on the pink with breast cancer awareness in mind. It's Dylan Petit's number 31 now on the move. 5 minutes going to be flat in qualifying when he comes around for his final 2 laps. He'll be the last driver to take a time at all, so he's going to really just dictate who goes where in this order. Every other spot has been taken. Every other position has been set. Now, to see whether or not Dylan Petit can shake up the norm, it's going to be whether or not he makes it around quick that determines whether or not he will indeed be up in front or in the back, and might shuffle some qualifying spots with them as well. Now, with how fast these drivers have been all throughout the night, already the track temperature is 108 degrees Fahrenheit with an air temperature of 75 degrees. So a major disparity of nearly 30 degrees, and it's becoming more and more as the night has gone on. So keep in mind, this track is slick. Very little grip all throughout the night. We're going to see less and less as it goes on, and the number 31 machine of Dylan Petit, the first man to test it out on his own, as all the drivers took to the track at the same time. So qualification, the carryover, how we have it in iRacing, we can take it from practice and move the track state up to qualifying. Now, the qualifying state is set by every driver, and then we move on to the race, which means that more and more the track temperature is going to get warmer, and we're going to see a lot more marks on the pavement, and hopefully not too many due to wrecks. Dylan Petit knows for certain he's been able to avoid some chaotic moments this season, coming home with a podium as of recent, the Magic Mile, and now looking to do so once again at the line. Back straightaway going to be for Dylan Petit, and the Trap House Racing number 31 takes it through. First lap is a 52.918 that kicks it off strong for Dylan Petit. 13th place right now for the number 31 machine. He's the final driver taking a lap, so whatever he gets this time by will dictate who goes where, as Dylan Clark is not going to be racing with us as a result of a suspension. He's the 19th and final driver registered, will not race, however, and he's hopefully going to have a chance to do so next season in season 17, not having the opportunity for the remainder of this 16th season. 3 minutes left on the board for Dylan Petit to wrap off his run. He's 0.3 of a second faster and jumps up to the high side of the track, works it right down low, tries to cut to the bottom, and at the line, Dylan Petit's got enough speed for him, will make it through, dive down the front straightaway one final time, and Petit 0.2 of a second quicker than his previous lap at the line, gonna come through with a 52.833 and puts himself up into 11th, and just like that, Dylan wraps out our qualifying run, number 11 spot for the number 31 machine, and everyone has taken a time here in quality. So without further ado, as we've always seen throughout the season, time to find out who starts where here in the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150. DJ Staggers had multiple wins this season, finds himself with the front row of the grid with a 52.273, and from there on out, you're also going to see it's going to be Scott Sellner, position number 2. Sellner hot as of recent inside the points battle, and he's charging close. He's missed multiple races, but has been the hottest man all throughout the season, looking for another chance at victory here in Indy. Then from there, we're going to see row number 2 is going to be Lucas Lodano, and he finds himself there with a 52.327, and Adam Bossi, your former points leader, now going to be 4th on the qualifying charts. Not too far back of your podium, all the same. Going to be then at the 4th occupied by Bozzi. It's 5th by Terry Brooks, the number 23 machine there inside of row number 3. And outside of the 3rd row, James McKee and his number 29, as McKee's going to put himself there, solid spot, hoping he can keep it up there as he is in the fight for the points race as well. Then from there, Scott Wheeler is going to be in 7th, and Ryan Potter is going to be in 8th. And the number 99 machine finds himself just ahead of your final row in the top 10. It's Kendall Kerr 9th, and Brad Kress, your current points leader, rounds out the top 10. 11th place going to then be occupied by Dylan Petit, and Petit finds himself there inside of row number 6, right beside the number 76 machine of Jacob Halm, and Halm puts himself there with a 52.854, just behind the lap time the 31 set, oh so close, even in the middle of the field. Caleb Morrissey going to be inside then of row number 7, and the round out in the top 14, Alan Cummins there in number 8. Cummins not having as much luck as of recent, looking for a much better race tonight, and Allen's going to find himself starting in 14th on the grid. Then from there, 15th going to be held by Kenny Brooks, and 16th going to be Justin Gibbs, separate by less than 1/10 of a second, with Michael Deitch in the number 57 making his second career start in the Highline Racing League Premier Series. Tyler Rush going to be 18th on the board, the final driver who took a time, and Rush puts himself there with a 53.284, and while registered for tonight's event, row 10 will not see any drivers participate, as Dylan Clark is not going to be eligible for the remainder of season 16. It's going to be 18 drivers taking the track here in the Brickyard. This is the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150, and this is your formation lap. Coming around this time through, DJ Stagner, already a winner this season, kicked off the season with a sweep in the Truck Series and the Premier Series, winning at Daytona, and went back-to-back to kick off the tour with the points leader early, but fell out of contention, not making every race, but DJ has still been fast. So don't doubt Stagner as the season goes on. He's only come back sporadically, but is always quick each and every time he shows up. So as the Brickyard gets in motion this time through, the iRacing official pace truck will come in this time by and let the field work its magic. Hard left turn for the pace truck, but it's going to be DJ Stagner and Scott Zellner taking us to the green flag in the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150. Green flag flies this time by with Stagner in full control. We're back on our way from Indy. Welcome to Brickyard. So far, so good. At the line, DJ Stagner leads from Zellner, and Lucas Lodano is going to be then third, with Adam Bozzi fourth, and the top five concluded by Terry Brooks. Your guys get up in front there nice and smooth at the head of the field, and nice to see you're looking for some green flag racing. A lot of yellow flag laps last Thursday night at New Hampshire. The race went very long as a result of such a process. Right now, Scott Wheeler going to be chasing down Brooks as Terry goes down low, looking for fourth place. Brooks dives deep and will take the spot immediately as the race gets going. And some drivers going to be chasing positions early, others not so much. And now the battle between being an aggressive driver and putting a bit more conservative racing in motion has already begun. This is side-by-side. James McKee going to be there with Adam Bozzi. Bozzi fading back just a bit as he's letting a lot of drivers get the motion going and kick off their night with a little more of an aggressive driving style. So some guys are going to already try to make some moves, others not so much. And divisions in time already going to be made as 3 laps in, Kendall Kerr finds himself neck and neck with Bozzi right up top. Adam's going to slot right back in. No big trouble there as they work off of the back straightaway this time by Dylan Petit. Looks down the bottom side, looking for something there on Adam Bozzi. And the number 27 machine has himself some company once again. Bozzi already fading back to 8th, and it's going to be 9th now for a driver who qualified strong in the 4th position. Now going to be nearly outside the top 10 with Caleb Morrissey having some work for him too. Channel lock number 98 works down on the bottom side, makes up opportunity for the pass, stick clearly. So Caleb Morrissey also going to be on the move there, and that time by another driver gets by Bozzi as Stagner leads the way and finds himself out in front. Zellner going to be second, Lucas Lodano third, and Terry Brooks is in fourth. Side-by-side racing between James McKee and Scott Wheeler. Kendall Kerr going to be right there as well. 4 laps in, and already drivers are bunching up with each other right on board right now with Kendall Kerr and see what's going on. See right now that Kendall Kerr finds himself in the 7th place, looking at a side-by-side battle once ahead of the 29 machine. His teammate has gone through and now finds himself looking for a top 5 run. Brooks is going to be now in 4th. It's going to be James McKee in 5th, and Scott Wheeler is in 6th. Alrighty, drivers getting things going here. Ty Smith going to be in the chat room. Thank you for stopping by. And you'll see a lot of drivers and fans alike coming down to support their favorite guys as DJ Stagner leads another lap. Now without some contention now, Scott Zellner is going to find himself in the mix, and Zellner is going to take it through on the bottom. And Scott Zellner, who's been oh so good throughout the season, just has not been able to make every race on the tour, now finds himself going once again at the front of the field. If he finished here, and if the results were frozen at this lap in particular at the end of night, it'll be Zellner, the overall points leader, and then from there, you see guys like Brad Kress, in addition, guys like Jason McKee, fade back a bit further, because Scott Zellner just hasn't made every race. That's been his only problem throughout the season, just the attendance. Otherwise, he's been the fastest driver in almost every race he's gone to so far, and now seeing the part-timer of DJ Stagner up ahead, not too much to worry about for his campaign, and it's going to be Zellner looking to get another chance at a race victory, working down low once again. MDLXL going to be rooting for Caleb Morrissey tonight as Morrissey finds himself in ninth, and the Jonestown Jet looking to make something happen on Dylan Petit. Dylan's already up in eighth right now, so big gains for that number 31 crew in the early going. Side by side for the most part, some drivers fading back. Michael Deitch finds himself 18th and last right now, and he's doing FTN double duty tonight. He kicked off tonight at Chicago, didn't have much luck there, moves on to Indianapolis, and hoping the ovals will suit his style a bit more, as he'll be right behind Tyler Rush and Jacob Halm. All the same. Up ahead, you'll see Scott Wheeler and Kendall Kerr going to be with each other right now, and Dylan Petit goes way up high, and the question becomes, how hard are these guys pushing their equipment here? As it's got to be a challenge to understand your limits. A lot of these drivers get used to Indianapolis. It's a very fast track with these Gen 4s. If you make some mistakes, got to find a way to get around that and adapt to the track, because it might seem easy on paper, and we've had some good laps so far, but by no means is this track simple to understand for these Gen 4 stock cars. They got high speeds, powerful motors, and a lot more revs a minute than almost anything else on the market here in sim racing, which means that you're dealing with a lot more under the hood than almost anything else. So it's not going to be you're planted every lap. You're going to be slipping and sliding up and down. So if you can't manage that, you're in big trouble. That's the way it's going to go. And it looks like right now, most drivers are admittedly doing a very good job of managing what could be potential trouble, as now Terry Brooks goes way up high. Scott Zellner is going to be up ahead, but Scott Wheeler, his teammate, now tries to make a move on Brooks. Scott goes right down low, looking now for the 5th place. So far, so good, with DJ Stagner leading and Scott Zellner then in second. One driver drops down to the bottom is Adam Bozzi. And Bozzi, 8 laps in, having some substantial issues as the Ford Fusion number 27 has faded back from 4th in qualifying all the way to 12th in the race. Now, the question is whether or not he's opting to run long here and hope to be a little more conservative, maybe have it play out longer in the going, because a lot of guys right now are logging laps and putting themselves in position for a long green flag run. So it might just be that as the case. Instead of going all aggressive right now, why not wait until it matters the most? Come through in the clutch. So that's going to be the mindset right now, potentially for Adam Bozzi, as he fades back even further. Now sees Allen coming on his bumper, and coming, needing a rebound race. Your defending champion has not done much with Season 16. These Gen 4s have been a lot of trouble for some drivers, and Cunman finding a lot of issues wrecking as of recent. Martinsville had himself some issues at New Hampshire as well, not to mention some Michigan troubles. So for Cunman, tonight's going to be all about just getting back planted and getting that rebound night. Just put yourself back in a solid formation. 9 laps in, out of 75. And as always, lap 9 on FTN, presented to you by our official graphic design partners, Tango Paints. For the highest quality paint schemes at a fraction of the price, check out Tango Paints for all information about iRacing's leading graphic designer for paint schemes and liveries. Offer starting at $50 per paint scheme. A one-stop shop for all of your iRacing needs. Check them out today at Twitter. It's Tango Paints. No spaces, nothing extra. It's just Tango Paints. So check them out today. Total over to the entire Tango Paints team, collaborating live on FTN as the official graphic design partner of Fireball Talks NASCAR. We'll be right back after this brief promotional break, courtesy of our friends at Tango Paints on Twitter. Coming back now, 10 laps into 75. So far, so good up in front. Some shuffling in the mid-pack, though. Caleb Morrissey, not to mention Dylan Petit, also making some moves. And just like that, drivers back on their way. Going to see that number 98 machine of Caleb Morrissey make a bit of a slide. Justin Gibbs up high with Brad Kress there. And the second race of action on the move here in FTN. 10 laps into 75. Not bad so far as the mid-pack already making waves. coming through so far so good. 11 laps in out of 75, and looks like now Stagner building a gap, and Elaine Coon's asking whether or not this could be another opportunity for Scott Zellner to come through. This Dodge number 2 machine has been oh so good this season, already accumulating 3 victories. So it goes to show how good he's been, even if he has not made everything so far. I mean, tell you this much, 3 starts, of course, coming through with the victory out of the 6 total so far, and he finds himself still in the points race, even if he's missed several weeks of action. So Scott Zellner not done just yet. He's been confident in his pace all throughout the year, and it looks like it's showing. He was worried whether or not he have a chance to fight for full-time points battle, but it looks like either way, he's up there once again. 12 laps in, this time by, makes it around once more in the runner-up spot. Lucas Logano going to be 3rd, James McKee 4th, and Scott Wheeler is going to be 5th. Caleb Morrissey position number 6, and Kendall Kern 7th, Dylan Petit 8th, Brad Crest 9th, and Justin Gibbs then in 10th. Going to be Terry Brooks in 11th, and Alan Cummin in 12th, Ryan Potter 13th, Adam Bozzi 14th, and Tyler Rush in 15th. Then you look back at your second pack with Deitch, Brooks, and Jacob Halm. Jacob Halm going to fade back now to 18th place, and it looks like the front runners are going to be breaking away even further. The field spread by 7 seconds so far, and Stagner continued to gain that advantage as the number 64 machine works his way down to the front straightaway once more through turns 3 and 4. He'll go, and Stagner makes it around with Zellner still chasing and Lucas Logano there as well. For one driver who still has not gotten that breakthrough win, Lucas Logano has seen multiple instances of being close, but just not finding the way to execute when it matters the most. And that's some of the big issues so far for this number 7, having a lot of speed, not only in the short run, but in the long run. And for all the drivers so far who have made that switch up from the Truck Series to the Premier rank, he's been the most impressive of which. And right now, even though he's not in the points race, running more and more in the Premier Series, getting that experience, and now finds himself running up in front again inside the podium, the likes of which James McKee, Scott Wheeler, Caleb Morrissey, Kendall Kerr, all race-winning talent he finds himself ahead of right now. And Lucas Logano stays there in 3rd with a lot of spreading out so far in the field. Mid-pack going to be a bit closer as Caleb Morrissey finds himself 6th, Kendall Kerr 7th, and Dylan Petit 8th, with Brad Crest 9th, Justin Gibbs then position number 10. That's how they run with a bit of contact down low to the bottom side. 2 drivers sliding in, but they're going to make contact down a pit road. They get back going, and it's going to be off the racing surface, so no caution going to be called as a result. Crest, Gibbs get back on the way, and we keep it green as it looks like these drivers got off the racing circuit before the incident occurred. Caution flies now, but the yellow flag's out due to Justin Gibbs and Brad Crest, and we'll take a look back to find out what caused it here. You saw it as it occurred, and now we'll find out what led to it. And you see as the drivers were just making some contact, beating and banging out of turn 4. That's what brings out the first yellow flag of the day, 14 laps in out of 75. Yellow flag will fly 14 laps through with Justin Gibbs fading to the back of the field. Brad Crest now going to be 17th. Just like that, with a caution out, we find ourselves pacing under yellow flag conditions for the first time tonight. DJ Stagner leads with Scott Zellner in 2nd and Lucas Logano in 3rd, as it's now going to be James McKee 4th and Scott Wheeler rounding out your top 5. And with now a first yellow flag choose rule going to be back in effect tonight, as we saw at New Hampshire, so keep that in mind. The leaders and the rest of the field get to choose their own destiny on these restarts, whether they choose high or choose low, still up to them, and we'll see who chooses what in the first caution of the day. DJ Stagner has led them all so far so good, and it's going to be then Scott Zellner right behind, Lucas Logano 3rd, James McKee 4th, and Scott Wheeler is in 5th with Morrissey 6th, Kendall Curran 7th, Dylan Petit 8th, and Alan Cummin then even 9th. To round in the top 10, it's going to be Adam Bozzi so far up there in the mix. And then from there, all 18 drivers in the field are on the lead lap, but Justin Gibbs and Brad Crest do have damage to keep in mind. That might be substantially impacting their races as the day continues. So their damage might mean a lot more than it does right now, as back under pacing it's going to be 15 through with Gibbs, Crest, and Halm, the final 3 drivers on the track, and DJ Stagner leading them down potentially to pit road for the first time tonight. Coming down to pit road this time by Stagner, going to take Zellner, Lodano, and James McKee. Just like that, the field rushes in, and the Holden leaders, number 64, leads the field through. Just like that, pit road gets busy once again, the first time tonight at the Brickyard. And we got ourselves a race on pit road as the pace car stays on the track. Rest of the field comes in unison. Pit road is busy, and just like that, we're underway with our first pit cycle of the night. Now, pit road getting busy, DJ Stagner makes his way in, all the front runners making it through at the same time. Going to be expecting 4 tires and fuel the way things are going. Now tonight, drivers have a limit of 4 tire sets to work with here, so keep that in mind as the night goes on. Not as many tire sets as usual, and it's going to be Stagner getting off quickest with Zellner second, and then James McKee third. Beating him bang with Lucas Lodano fourth, Scott Wheeler fifth, Adam Bozzi sixth, Kendall Kerr 7th, and Caleb Morrissey 8th. That's Dylan Petit and Alan Cummins currently rounding out the top 10. All 18 drivers get on their way, and DJ Stagner is still your leader after our pit cycle. An uninterrupted lead so far, so good for Stagner, with Zellner second, James McKee third, and Lucas Lodano then in fourth. Now the drivers get back on the way. They'll be set to go 1 lap to green. This time buying your first caution of the day, 16 laps in, out of 75. A very quick opening section, and now we'll see how long the rest of this race can go. Great green flag run to kick us off. But the question is now whether or not we see more of that, or is that going to be a flash in the pan? We'll see a bit more of the yellow flags that we did at New Hampshire. And the Magic Mile went quite long as a result of those cautions. Now, we didn't expect it to be as long as it was, of course, but we had a succession of yellows to finish off the night. Ended up going into that overtime scenario, and that's what brought us to the end of the race. Now set to do it all over again. It's going to be Stagner, Zellner, McKee, leading us to our choose rule, which is going to be at the start-finish line, apron or the wall being chosen. So we'll see what drivers opt to do here, as it looks like the start-finish line may be utilized as they come through this time by with 1 lap to green. Drivers going to begin their choosing, and you'll see it's going to be Stagner down low, and Zellner up top, and high-low for the most part here as drivers come around. Both drivers follow the pattern, and just like that, the choose cone, not going to be a physical cone, but still put into effect as we find ourselves now with 1 lap to green. Restart here at lap 18. With DJ Stagner leading every lap so far, he's had dominant pace all throughout this night, at least to this point. At the quarter-way mark of this race, having that pace is a great thing to have at this point, but track conditions are going to continue to change as drivers continue to lay down that rubber, have a lot of warmth being put on the track. The pressure is going to be on later in the going too. Gotta understand that the track conditions right now, the racing conditions overall, will be much different in the final stage of this race as opposed to where we are right now. It's 17 laps to go. Things are going to look much different than they are at lap number 17. So we'll see how guys like Stagner approach that problem. Of course, Zellner, McKee, Lodano also there too. Scott Wheeler's 5th. Adam Bozzi 6th, and Kendall Kerr is then in 7th. Caleb Morrissey is going to be 8th, and Dylan Petit is in 9th right now. It's their double file once again. Every driver with the field. Ryan Potter collecting himself right now as he's going to come through quickly and nearly at full speed. He runs back into the pack and now set to go at it once again. The iRacing official pace truck will drop in for the first time tonight as a restart. It'll be the first caution leading to restart number 1. Let's get back at it this time by with DJ Stagner and Scott Zellner first and second. Time to put it back in motion. Green flag going to be led to you by that number 64 machine. Same front row that got us started all those laps prior, and now they're set to get rolling in the first restart of the night. Green flag flies once again from Indianapolis, back on our way, led by DJ Stagner. Just like that, already going to be able to get on the move cleanly ahead. Stagner gets that advantage, and Scott Zellner going to lie back in second. So your top two spots remain the same. Now some contention for third. James McKee on the bottom and Lucas Logano up top. They're side by side. High side occupied by the 7. Low side by that number 29. They're neck and neck, dead even 18 laps in. And Kendall Kerr and Caleb Morrissey are also going to be getting closer as Scott Wheeler finds himself also in the mix all the same. So right now the 4 horsemen see 3 of their guys within the top 10. Zellner is second. Wheeler's right now fighting for 5th. And Caleb Morrissey is sitting solidly in the 7th spot. So not bad at all up in front of the field for the 4 horsemen operation. Blacktop Racing seeing similar success. Blacktop Racing going to see their 4th place man in James McKee. Their 5th place driver is in Kendall Kerr. And then from there you have to go back to Alan Cumming, who rounds out in the top 10. And number 8 is she right there in the 10th spot. And right now teams are going to be all divided throughout the field. A lot of guys having some successful runs regardless of affiliation. DJ Stagner, the man up in front, keeping himself up without teammates. He's been working on his own, getting things done for Swamp Motorsports. And right now Ryan Potter's in the back of the field in 18th, so we'll say Swamp Motorsports sandwich to say the least. The 19 laps in, Stagner maintains that edge and keeps them going as they come across the line. New tires and all, 3 laps in on the stint, make it to number 4 as DJ comes through yet again with the advantage. Zellner is going to be second place, going at a speed of about 197 miles an hour at the start-finish line. So these drivers are clearly hitting speeds higher than 200. That's just how quick they're going tonight, and it goes to show the amount of power inside of these Gen 4 engines. Unrestricted motors going as high in terms of revs as they can, high in terms of speeds as they can, and you're going to see at least 190 all throughout these straightaways, 197, 198, hitting just about 200 peak before backing it down, going as low as about 150. So even though these guys are very quick on the straightaways, it's also about braking and hitting your marks in the corners. That's a big deal as well. Top 3 remains the same with Stagner, Zellner, and Lucas Logano. As James McKee fades back to 4th, Kendall Kerr is 5th right now, and he's going to see some pressure as it's going to be now Scott Wheeler looking for the final spot inside the top 5. The Ford Fusion, number 97, right there with the Dent Wizard sponsorship. He'll take it through and roll nice and easy into that 5th spot. Kerr's going to be 6th, Morrissey is 7th, and Terry Brooks is then in 8th with Adam Bossie 9th and Alan Cumming position number 10. Now looking to the back of the field, no troubles there right now. It's going to be Ryan Potter running in 18th, and it looks like Brad Kress and Justin Gibbs involved in that first incident with points leader and Justin Gibbs also there. Yeah, they're running 13th and now make it 14th and 15th. Going to be losing a few spots on that run, and of course with all the incidents in mind that we've seen throughout the season, getting involved in that first one really sets you back. So right now Kress, despite having some better pace than that, is going to be in the back of the field even further than before and has to work his way up tooth and nail. So we see whether or not Brad Kress says anything more for us, as it's going to be DJ Stagner across the line for lap number 22 at a 75. Take a ride on board now with your race leaders. We take a look from the rear view perspective of DJ Stagner. And as you see right now with DJ Stagner, that number 64 machine fighting to keep it up in front. And right now, even though he does not have to worry much about Scott Zellner, it's more about how you drive yourself through each and every lap. Because every lap matters for you more than the next man. And as this track has a lot of drafting, you got to make sure that that does not waver the way you approach this circuit. Because Indianapolis is not necessarily a typical drafting track. It just happens to inhibit that sort of racing through its nature of having high speed. So right now for Stagner, his big goal is to just keep it up there and run the same laps he's been running, which he's done, but he's given Zellner, of course, that opportunity to draft once again. And down the back straightaway, you'll see how close he gets. Has a chance to lunge down low for the first time, but does not look for it for certain, knowing that's going to be a big, big risk, and you can't afford to make such a risky maneuver so early in the going. So 23 laps in on the 75. Not going to make that decision right there for Scott Zellner. He'll stay in second right now, and he's got Lucas Logano there in third as well. Coming across this time by leaders of the field, getting further away from the middle of the pack, and even the guys in the rear rear of the field. As you'll see, Michael Deitch now going to be 13th in the middle of the pack, finding himself in the Bass Pro Shops number 57, chasing down Brad Kress and Tyler Rush. Rush going to be racing now with Kress for the 11th spot. As we mentioned, Brad Kress will have to fight tooth and nail for every position. He's already on the hunt for a few of these guys and puts himself in the spot to chase after Tyler Rush in particular as they go through 24 laps in. Nearly a third of the way in so far, and we've only seen one caution, and it's going to be good to see, of course, guys getting in that long form of pace as Brad Kress hopes to set himself up for a much better long run than his opening stint. I mean, tell you this much, for a guy who's leading the points right now, you cannot afford to have any mistakes. That's how close the competition is in the Highline Racing League. If you make that slip up and you find yourself with one or two bad races late in the going, you're effectively out of the championship picture because the playoffs have not come back for this year. So that means every race matters, no matter what. And 25 laps in this time by, you got to get back up there as DJ Stagner's led every lap so far. And hot pursuit is Scott Zellner, a championship contender, looking to make through for what will be his 4th win on the season. And he's only made less than half the start to this point. Well, it's going to be more than half now, but he's making his way back up through the charts and now finds himself fighting for a championship win. Even with multiple races lost compared to his competitors, he's made that deficit up in the points table, and now is going to be sitting there, runner-up spot so far, 25 laps in, at a 75. Lucas Lodano going to be 3rd, and it's going to be James McKee 4th, with Scott Wheeler 5th, and Caleb Morrissey in 6th. Kendall Kerr 7th, and Terry Brooks is then in 8th. You'll look back at Alan Cutman right now as he's going to be ahead of a multi-car pack. Tyler Rush and Brad Kress as they're going to go now side by side. Kress dives low, Deitch stays high. No issue comes of it so far, but they're going to get dicier and dicier as the number 9 machine works down to the bottom and makes it stick. Now Tyler Rush has to hold his equipment right up high. Cost him several spots and a chance to keep on fighting as Michael Deitch takes it down low at the same time. Michael takes it down to the bottom, gonna get a bit loose, just keeps it up ahead. Tyler Rush nearly in the wall, no contact there, and Michael Deitch slots right back in as Justin Gibbs goes down to the bottom. So now Gibbs gonna be making his move at the bottom side. Take a look at that for the number 93 machine. Justin Gibbs right down low as Tyler Rush passed as well. Rush fades back into 14th, Gibbs up to 13th, Michael Deitch up to 12th, and Brad Kress is now 11th, chasing 10th. Dylan Batika, the man right now in the 10th place, and that number 31 machine has to keep it there as he hopes to get himself back up in the top 10 points fight. A lot of guys he's been working with all throughout the season are further ahead of him, and 27 laps in, DJ Stagner, despite all his setbacks and not making many races, is all looking to make it another crooked number in the win category. Multi-time champion in the past, DJ Stagner knows what it takes to win here in the Highline Racing League, and showing it once again. Keeps things going as they come through this time by. It's going to be leading for DJ Stagner, then Scott Zellner 2nd, and Lucas Lodano in 3rd. They kept it clean and kept it green with some close battles still further on back. And with engines roaring here at Indianapolis, the question becomes, do we see that green flag pit cycle we didn't see in that early run? As we all know, we had our 11-lap run so far. After our first caution, yellow flag came out about 11 laps in. And then from there, saw pit road get busy. Drivers came down and in, got that cycle reset, and every driver's on the same run in terms of strategy here, so they all understand what it takes to do the exact same thing, give or take, throughout the pack. Now, Ryan Potter's on a bit of a younger set, 1 lap younger, so I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out for him in the 18th spot, but he's doing something slightly different. Not a major difference right now, though, as he runs in the last spot on the circuit. 28 laps in, and Scott Zellner once again looks right down low. Zellner's got a shot to the bottom of the track, and he will go for it. Scott Zellner looking for the race lead, and just like that, new man at the top of the board, not just yet, but Zellner certainly is looking, and he's going to go even closer that time by, just can't get it through the corner. Now working down the front straightaway, there's another shot to do so. Once again, racing through at the line, the yard of bricks will show you DJ Stagner still leads, and it's going to be Scott Zellner still in 2nd. Leading up in the front of the field, the 64s had control. The closest battle right now is going to be further back in the pack, and it's all throughout the field. We got very close battles, but one in particular stands out as Caleb Morrissey sees more pressure from Kendall Kerr right behind him. And now looking on board with Kendall Kerr, you'll see it's going to be the number 21 machine we're looking at, as Caleb Morris's perspective gives us more light on the battle that is in play. The Lucas Oil number 21, it's the Chevy Impala working, and it's an all-white text there, and it's as bold as it gets. Kendall Kerr putting in some bold runs all throughout the season, winning at Rockingham, already has a checkered flag to his name on this campaign, and looking for his second right now with a strong run up at the front of the field. Now, looking for a shot to get down low on Caleb Morrison. Taking a look at another angle here, you'll see as Kendall Kerr's going to lunge into the straightaway as that bottom side. That's advantage enough to also bring Terry Brooks and even Alan Kunman. You want to stay on the bottom here at Indianapolis, especially with these Gen 4s. It's a very, very challenging effort to stay up top and keep those positions. So right now, Caleb Morrison going to labor just a bit and keep on fighting, but it's going to be a losing battle as push comes to shove, as Morrissey fades back even more as a result. DJ Stagner continues to lead the way. So far, so good for the man in that number 64. Zauner is going to be second. James McKee is third. And Lucas Lodano is in fourth right now, with Scott Wheeler fifth and Kendall Kerr then position number 6. Going to be then a 7th spot for Terry Brooks, and 8th is going to be Caleb Morrissey. Alan Cummins is 9th, and Brad Kress rounds out the top 10. Come through 30 laps in, make it 31. Still largely going to be single file racing, keeping it calm up in front as the top 2 drivers in the field continue to battle. Multiple of the drivers keep going at it all the same. Kunman going to be down to the bottom side of Morrissey, gets that pass quite easily. And Caleb stays up high, trying to work it there with some more momentum, but you just can't do it there. Too much distance being covered, and Caleb opts to slide right back in. 31 laps in, out of 75 so far. Brad Kress also going to be there, not to mention Dylan Batiste, Justin Gibbs, Adam Bozzi, and Michael Deitch, as Bozzi's now going to take it down to the bottom side here with Michael, taking it way down low. The 27 lunges, gets that spot, and Tyler Rush turns 2, and now Deitch going to fade back further into what could be the 15th place. If he can't hold off against Tyler Rush, that's the way it's going to look here as the 57 fades back and Rush gets the spot. They're going to be right on each other, though, bumper to bumper, and lifting each other up the track you don't want to see. But Deitch goes down low, knowing he has enough pace to slide back down to the bottom, and it's going to be side by side if there's anything from him, but Michael Deitch just can't get it there. And Tyler Rush gets the spot, puts himself up in 14th. And with DJ Stagner now out in front, 32 laps in, you'll see further on back it's going to be Scott Wheeler, Kendall Kerr, side by side with Terry Brooks. These 2 drivers working each other over right now for the 6th position. And it's going to be Terry Brooks looking right down low. And Brooks, he's had some shining moments throughout the season, but just not been able to get those top 5 finishes consistently. And Brooks right now looking to be 1 slot off of the top 5. 7th place before the battle began, and right now chasing down a quick Kendall Kerr. Of course, of all the drivers to mimic here in the Highline Racing League, Kendall Kerr, one of the best in the business. So Brooks, he's trying to make something happen here for Culture Designs, and of course, the number 23 crew, he's looking down low, gets a lunge there, but doesn't commit to it, and 33 laps in, opts to stay right now in the shadow of this number 21. DJ Stagner still occupies the top spot, and Scott Zauner continues to chase as 33 laps in. Zauner still remains in the catbird seat. And for Scott Zauner right now, still second with a quarter of a second to spare. DJ Stagner still got a minor advantage, but nothing too big. You cannot coast on quarter of a second here. And 33 laps in, that's the way they stay. Stagner going to be first, and Scott Zauner then second. Runner-up man is that number 2, and James McKee rounds out the podium. Lucas Lodano going to be 4th, and Scott Wheeler going to be 5th, with Kerr 6th, Terry Brooks 7th, and Alan Kunman then in 8th. Kunman's going to go way high. It's going to be Caleb Morrissey lowest. Kendall Kerr is going to go way up top indeed. And just like that, Kendall Kerr loses it and brings out the second caution of the night. Now with the yellow flag flying, Kendall Kerr's got trouble. Yellow flag is out indeed. The instant replay going to show you what caused it here. And it looks like just losing it in the heat of the battle. Kendall Kerr goes around sliding. Yellow flag is out. 34 laps in, out of 75. Take a look at what just happened here for Kendall Kerr, fading back now to 18th and last, and losing it on the back end, as it looks like Terry Brooks makes contact, sends him up the track, and the yellow flag flies. As a result, 34 laps in. And with the caution out once again, Kendall Kerr going to be dead last now with DJ Stagner leading. And it looks like at the line they're not going to be able to go down to pit road just yet, still catching up to the pace cars. The pace car is going to continue to dictate the pace right now. Of course, that's what it's meant for, as it's far out in front of your leading driver. Stagner making its way down the back straightaway with the remainder of the field. The drivers come by once more, 35 laps in. So 2 yellow flags in your first half of the race will bring you to the second half after this one. 35 laps in at a 75, set to go back green at lap number 38. That's the way they'll go, with Stagner leading, Scott Zellner second, and James McKee in third. Lucas Lodano going to be fourth, and Scott Wheeler going to be fifth, with Brooks sixth, Alan Cummins seventh, and Caleb Morrissey then in eighth. As the field gets set to go for another run, we'll see if pit road comes alive once again, expecting to see that be the case, as we went 19 laps on this pit stint, every driver running just about the exact same strategy, so no variation. If the leader goes in, effectively everyone gonna have a reason to come down and call it a none for the second set of tires. So we'll see whether or not that's the case. Coming through this time by DJ Stagner makes it in. Scott Zellner does too, and just like that, pit road busy once again, led by your leading driver in Stagner, who's led every lap to this point. Now with DJ Stagner advantageous down to pit road, going to be expecting another set of 4 tires and fuel as drivers rush by once again. Pit exit camera going to show you who comes out first and who's going to get that big benefit of pit road. As strategy shifts up once again, it's going to be DJ Stagner leading, Scott Zellner second, and Lucas Lodano then in third, with Terry Brooks now shuffling up. He was up there in the top 5, but not any longer, as drivers go into their assigned pit stalls. It's going to be just a bit of a different look throughout the entirety of the pit grid. Stagner still has that top spot, and as drivers begin to roll off, DJ Stagner will not have the edge. It's Zellner, then going to be James McKee, Lucas Lodano, Scott Wheeler, and DJ Stagner in 5th, with Morrissey 6th, Crest 7th, Dylan Petit in 8th, Adam Bozzi 9th, and Alan Cummins then in 10th. So big changes up at the front of the field. New leader as a result of the pit cycle, Scott Zellner. New driver up in front, and just like that, the driver, the number 2 machine, gets a quick pit stop, a 46.1 second time, beating out DJ Stagner with a much slower 48.5, and that's the make or break so far here. 36 laps in. We'll bring you back in our second yellow flag of the day after a brief promotional message courtesy of iRacing Motorsport Simulation, celebrating 15 years of fun and success on the iRacing platform. We'll be right back after this brief message from iRacing.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And celebrating 15 years of action on iRacing. Once again, if you want to join the fun, iRacing.com, the one-stop shop for all iRacing registrations and information about the platform. We'd love to have you join the fun here, the premier online racing simulator on the market. iRacing is the best place to go if you want to join these drivers in the Highline Racing League and race stock cars, dirt cars, rally machines, F1, Indycar, and so much more. We'd love to have you join the fun here on iRacing as the official pace truck leads them around for the second restart of the day. It's going to be Scott Zellner, James McKee, and Scott Wheeler, the Flying Scotsman, up in front, both together now, and they'll be up there looking to go back at it for restart number 2. We've had 2 moderately long green flag runs, what we love to see. And hopefully now, as we get back in it, we'll see more of the same as the field is set to get back into the racing swing of things. This time by, pace truck going to be making out of turn 4 and going back down to pit road. Scott Zellner's got the advantage, and for the first time all night long, DJ Stagner outside of the podium. Let's see where he is right now. Of course, going to be 5th and the lowest he's been all night long. So we'll see what he can do with this spot right now, as he's in a much different position than his first 33 laps. Caution came out of 33, set to go back green at lap number 38. Let's do this once again. Led by Scott Zellner, the green flag will fly once more with James McKee second and Lucas Lodato third. Green flag out this time by. We're back on our way here from the Brickyard. 37 laps in, and now 37 laps to go. It's halfway down here in Indy. The field comes across the first 2 corners, going to be nice and easy up in front, and 38 laps to go now on the board as we've hit our halfway mark of this race. Now I'll tell you this much, Scott Zellner's got the race lead, and Lucas Lodato now going to be in second, a big shuffle, and DJ Stagner now going to have to be on the offensive. The fastest man in that early run, of course, leading almost the first half of the race in its entirety, and for the first time all night long, even under our first pit cycle, DJ Stagner have the lead. That is no longer the case, and Scott Zellner's got the advantage as they come through this time by. Zellner leads him, and he's got Lucas Lodato hot on his heels with James McKee also there too. So now it's going to be about a 7-car bundle. Brad Kress trying to get up there as well, all fighting up in front, and Kress making a big rebound now inside the top 10. Might be able to go for the top 5 the way things are looking. A big drafting train is in play, and Morrissey is the man who might put that connection in for Brad Kress. Kress is continuing to try to make up a bit more time. Bozzi going to be 8th right now. Alan Cumming is in 9th, and despite the issues, you'll see Justin Gibbs is now inside the top 10. Look further back, Kendall Kerr going to be 18th and last after his wreck. Ryan Potter still going to be running in 17th. Kenny Brooks is 16th, and Michael Deitch fights for 15th here with Tyler Rush. And Scott Zellner comes across the line this time by to keep things going. Zellner and Lucas Lodato once again fighting for a win, and both times we saw these two fighting up at the front of the field late in the race. Lucas Lodato was not the man who came through, but tonight that could change as he's going to rock that number 2 way up to the top side and nearly makes a move. Thinks better of it and stays back on the bottom. Now these two drivers are already going to get back into the go of it, and DJ Stagner right there going to hook Lodato way down low. He's going to be able to save it, keep it straight and side by side, but DJ Stagner already putting in that impression here. He's not playing around, and neither is Lodato. They'll stay side by side as they come through turns 3 and 4. Lucas Lodato going to be there in 3rd, and now going to be able to cycle slightly in the 2nd. At the time in scoring loop, they'll be nearly dead even. The edge might go to Stagner here with some momentum, but it's going to be very, very close, and it's going to be even better right now for Scott Zellner. Look at how it is out in front for him. He's gaining so much more time on his contemporaries, and gaining that time gives him much more of an advantage. Not much to worry about as they'll stay side by side for 2nd here. Lodato down low, DJ Stagner right up top, and as they continue to fight right behind their leader, he'll pull away even more. Now a gap of 0.6 of a second with Zellner advantageous. But Zellner now gaining even more of a race lead. DJ Stagner going to be fading back more and more, but he's out 2nd, and already Lucas Lodato sees pressure from James McKee. McKee goes down to the bottom side. The number 29 machine looks low, has a shot at it, and he will go for it. Now Lucas Lodato remains up high and is going to lose another spot on the podium. Number 98 machine of Caleb Morrissey also coming in the mix for a top 5 run of his own. Looked very quick, as he mentioned, at Michigan late in the going, which just was not able to capitalize on all the speed that he had. While Morrissey's had some struggles throughout this season, he's still been showing glimpses of that race-winning ability that we know he has. He has not been able to flourish all throughout this season, and that's been the big trouble, consistently being in there as one of the fastest drivers. So a shame that that's the case, but there's still a chance to keep on improving. The season far from over right now for Morrissey as he keeps things up at the front of the field. He's 5th right now, working right down low as he tries to keep it there side by side with James McKee. McKee going to be there on the bottom groove, looking to make something happen, and now he's switching switches up to the high side, only to come back down. It's high and low, up and down, drivers trying different things, and all the experimentation coming into play before crunch time here. 42 in out of 75. Now, past that halfway marker, the final stretch is going to be what these drivers have to worry about the most. Sounder comes across the line with 33 laps to go now and continues to stretch that advantage as he's got Stagner in second, Lucas Logano third, and Caleb Morrissey then in fourth. McKee's going to be fifth, and it's going to be Scott Wheeler sixth, with Adam Bozzi seventh, Brad Crest eighth, and Justin Gibbs then in ninth. To round to the top 10, Cummin is going to be right there in the number 8 machine, and your defending champion now running with his teammate, both of which now trying to get in the single digits club. Brad Crest is 8th, and it could be Cummin working his way up to 9th as he goes down low on the number 93. Gibbs gives him room, and just like that, Cummin slides right through, but actually slides high and makes nearly a big mistake in losing that advantage. As you saw, Cummin's got to protect the bottom side, and that's what keeps a pass here in Indy. So get hold on and keep that position. That's the game plan. Is off the line. It's going to be Gibbs going down low and Alan Cummin right up top. Scott Zellner leads him through either way, but the close battles in the field persist, as you'll see Caleb Morrissey now fighting for a podium spot, and it might just be a chance with Lucas Logano up top. Lucas is going to go for it, and he gets something going, and that number 7 machine, not to be outdone so far, continues to defend as Morrissey gets very loose, and that's going to give a shot instead to James McKee, as Wheeler does more of the same. And immediately into that back straightaway, you saw not one but 2 of the 4 horsemen going nearly around. I mean, Morrissey's going to be able to save it quick. Then Scott Wheeler gets loose at the same time, and these 2 drivers, teammates, might be driving the track very similar, which may lead to issues such as what we just saw. Luckily, both are going to be able to keep on going and save their equipment, but you don't want to see them lose it, especially with the time we've had so far on the track. As they come across the line once again, 4/10 of a second separates Zellner and Stagner, and that time by DJ was quicker by 1/4 of a second, so he made up some time. Once again, DJ Stagner getting even more so in the mix, and it might just be DJ Stagner coming through in the last few moments. 31 laps to go. We made it nearly 50 laps in. I mean, 45 to 75, coming closer and closer to that big 5-0. When we get to that 50th lap, that's when it really becomes all about going as hard as you can or pacing yourself for a longer green flag run. Now, 31 laps to go with the 9-lap pit run we've had. It might just be one pit stop to split this segment, as it could be coming in about 11 laps time and let the rest of the 20 laps play out. We'll see, that's the call from these drivers. They might not choose to go for that way, but there is a fuel limitation. So they got to understand, if you do not work what you got, you might find yourself out of fuel before the run is over. With such high speeds, these guys are burning up fuel no matter what, with Brooks right now at 11, Allen coming in 10, and Justin Gibbs then in 9th. That's the way they stay so far with 30 laps to go. Caleb Morrissey now chasing down Lucas Logano once again. Lucas gets a bit loose, but nothing too major, as now James McKee puts on the pressure even closer. Michael Deitch going to be down in the apron, nearly loses it, and it looks like Tyler Rush does as well. Rush is going to have some trouble, even more so, and no caution going to fly. We'll check an instant replay, though, to see what happened. And looking right now at the instant replay on the matter, Michael Deitch and Tyler Rush going to bring out the caution with 30 laps to go. A bit of a late yellow flag call, but you'll see both drivers hit the wall, go way up high, beat and bang, and then they're going to bring out the caution all the same. So the yellow flag is going to fly, and just like that, caution is out. 47 laps in out of 75, and we got ourselves another break in the action. Scott Zellner, leading driver, as a result of that incident. The yellow flag flies a bit later than that occurred, but still, as a result of the wreck, the yellow flag is determined to be the rightful decision, and makes sense. Multi-car incident. So just like that, we're under pacing once again with only 29 laps left. It is Scott Zellner advantageous with DJ Stagner second, Lucas Logano third, and then Caleb Morrissey in fourth. We're going to find out if anyone's going to come down a pit road, and if they do not, we'll dial up a driver and see what's going on here as we figure out what's going to be the call for the rest of the race in the Brickyard. And with 29 laps to go, it could be another pit cycle after an 11-lap run. Tires are getting shredded, so it would be expected to see some guys come in. Track temperature is only going to be 98 degrees Fahrenheit now, so after a bit of a peak, nearly 110 Fahrenheit, it's come down slowly but surely, and as time has progressed on the day, we now are back within the double digits in regards to track temp. Some guys are going to come down to pit road this time by. Morrissey's looking at it, and Zellner will go too. Just like that, with Zellner making it in, he'll take the whole field right back with them. Most of the field comes in, save for Caleb Morrissey, Adam Bozzi, Brad Kress, and it looks like Terry Brooks right there too. So pit road gets active. Morrissey is your new race leader, and just like that, a big switch up here, and now we have a total of only 27 laps to go on the agenda. It's going to be drivers coming by this time by. Indeed, it's going to be Zellner, Stagner, and Lucas Lodano. 28 laps to go this time around, but when they come back next, there'll be 27 to go. Looking to have only 25 green flag laps left when we get back at it, and Zellner gets the jump once again here on DJ Stagner. Scott Zellner gets back on the move and will lead the way at a pit road. I'll tell you this much right now, for Scott Zellner running very well as it stands, so how's about we dial up the driver in that number 2 and find out what's going on. Scott Zellner right now, you find yourself off of pit road, 7th place with a few laps under your belt already as the leader. How's it feel out in front from the Brickyard here with 28 laps still remaining?
It feels pretty good. I don't think that I have the pace to match DJ, but we had a really good pit stop, and I think he overshot his box, and that's how we got the lead. Definitely didn't want to take, we only have one set of tires left, everybody, so I only wanted to take fuel on that stop, just to let you know what's going on. I think we're going to get another yellow before it's over here. I think I can work my way up through these guys up in front of me. But definitely want to save that last set of tires for the end of this one.
Saving it all up for the end looks to be the game plan here. With 28 laps to go, it'll be less than that when we get back to green. If we were to go all the way, we're not expecting a full-on green flag cycle, or are we going to see something unexpected?
I'm not sure. We can only make it about 26 laps from here, so it's going to be real tight on fuel for the guys that just pitted. You're definitely, I think, going to need to pit one more time and take tires. But I just want to give myself the option to take less fuel on that last stop.
And now as we come down for choose rule, 1 lap to green, so we'll let you go this time by. Before we get back at it, any final thoughts before we head back in what could be the penultimate restart?
Yeah, just want to, give a shout out to everybody for keeping it more clean tonight than we have been. Honestly, it's been pretty embarrassing the last couple weeks with all the yellows we've had. But, tonight, hopefully we can have a nice long green flag run to the end here, and we'll see what we got.
And there we have it, Scott Zellner, number 2 machine, 11 laps led so far in the day, currently scored in 6th. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, David.
Scott Zellner back on the move. One of the 4 horsemen finds himself inside of the top 10. Working up in front, though, is his teammate and Caleb Morrissey, as it looks like 5 drivers opt to stay out on an old set. Going to be Jacob Hallman 5th, Terry Brooks in 4th, Brad Kress 3rd, Caleb Morrissey 2nd, and Adam Bozzi, your leading driver, opting to do things different. So just like that, we got ourselves a shift in strategy this time by. 49 laps in at a 75, coming down to the final stretch of things. Come back to lap 50. We'll be set to go once again. The final stretch ahead of us here in the Highline Racing League. And for those who are tuning in for the first time tonight, this is the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150. And it's been a fantastic night of action to this point. Stick around because we've still got a bit more to figure out who's going to come home with a win and who might be able to grab the points lead when all is said and done from Indianapolis. Coming through this time by the iRacing official pace truck. Going to drop in and let the field get right back to work. Going to be 26 laps to go, and the final dash is within sight, and the checkered flag might be right there too. Bozzi and Caleb Morrissey up in front, and they're on old tires looking to make something happen. We've seen before how old tires might cause disaster. Hopefully, that's not the case. Green flag going to fly this time through it. Morrissey and Bozzi getting the jump. No major tire spin, and we're backing away from the Brickyard. a great start there from Caleb Morrissey to jump out of the race lead. Bozzy gonna fade back. He's still in second here, but nowhere near the jump that Caleb Morrissey just had. Man, oh man, getting away big time. And just like that, new driver up in front of the field. The number 6 puts himself exactly where he needs to be. And it's now crunch time for Caleb Morrissey up at the head of the pack with Terry Brooks second, Adam Bozzy third, and now Bozzy gets slotted up to the top side. As right now, the big change in strategy is not going to be the tires, as we heard from Scott Zellner. It's the fuel. And some guy's going to be with a newer set of fuel, of course, to get that final load in. Michael Deitch comes on pit road this time by, so Deitch going to have some trouble. He'll come in on his own. This might not be a competitive pit stop, but either way, the 57 going to limp in. So Deitch having some trouble, makes it down to pit road, going to drop off the track, and might be a forced retirement here, and that it looks to be. So Michael Deitch out of the night with 25 to go. Unfortunately, looks to be circumstances out of his control indeed, as Morrissey leads the way, cuts that draft, and finds himself ahead with Terry Brooks still right there with them. Brad Kress going to be third, and Adam Bozzy going to be fourth with DJ Stagner, position number 5, and Jacob Holmes going to be right there side by side with James McKee. Just like that, Morrissey's got the advantage and keeps it up there with some beating and banging way back. You'll see Scott Zellner's going to have some trouble, and he has to get out of the way here as Justin Gibbs makes it by. Jacob Holm there too, and a minefield of drivers collected in one another, and right now, while they haven't collected in a wreck, they're certainly as close as they can get without causing one. 24 laps to go. This time by, Morrissey leads and has it up there with Terry Brooks second and Brad Kress third. The way they've stayed good majority of the run. Now, this is a very short run, of course, so it doesn't mean all too much to say that, but it could mean that this whole staying out longer might be the move, especially if drivers have to come down to pit road regardless. Zellner giving the estimate that he'll have to come down to pit road under green or under yellow, no matter what, at least one more time, just to top off and make sure everything's secure. So it is going to be a pit stop for everyone, no matter what. However, right now, still not expecting to see that within the next couple of laps. Morrissey going to try to stretch it as long as he can here. Might have to go until about the lap 15 to go mark, which is going to be about lap 62. Coming across the stripe this time by, Morrissey leads him, and Terry Brooks is then in second as they come across the stripe yet again. Brooks is going to go way down low. That's Kenny Brooks with Allen coming, and they swerve right up to the track. 23 laps left. And for Caleb Morrissey out in front of the field for the first time this season, getting multiple laps led, the best that Morrissey's looked all throughout the campaign. And of course, for one reason that we'd like to mention, with 22 laps to go next time by, we'll begin our Crank It Up as always here on FTN with 22 laps to go. The best cameras in the iRacing market given to us by Track Cams for Gourmets. And if you want your track cameras to be the best in the market, broadcasting, photography, anything of the sort, check out trackcams22.com or facebook.com/trackcams for more information. We'd love to have you there live on FTN in association with trackcams22.com, and uninterrupted, we'll crank it up with 22 laps remaining, courtesy of our friends at trackcams22.com. caution flies, 21 laps to go. Yellow flag is out once again. The cause back of the field. Let's find out. Taking a look way back right now. Justin Gibbs looks to be the reason. Yellow flag is out. And we'll take a break in between our crank it up here, only getting one lap of which, and hope to get it back on the restart. Now take a look instant replay to find out what just caused this one. As the instant replay will show you, Gibbs tapped by McKee, then going to be hit by Zellner, taken right up the track, and that brings out the yellow flag. Huge damage to Gibbs. Second incident he's been involved in throughout the night. So just like that, caution's out with 20 laps to go. It's going to be the number 93 machine of Justin Gibbs with a big trouble, and now going to be scored 16th on the circuit, and with some major suspension damage. The question is whether or not he can get back on the track. I mean, odds are now very low in that regard, and we'll hopefully see him back throughout the remainder of the race, but it's going to be unlikely as Gibbs comes down a pit road yet again to come down, get the results back in order, and just like that, on the way, yellow flag once again. Lucas Lodano leads now from Caleb Morrissey. It's Brad Kress third, Ryan Potter fourth, and then Terry Brooks in fifth. And as the drivers come by, it's going to be another run down to pit road for the most of the field, save for Lucas Lodano. Now you'll see pit road comes alive one more time. Lodano is confident he's going to be able to save to the end of the way, but the rest of the field is going to come in, and they are not going to waste any time playing it safe. Now it's going to be multitudes of drivers coming in, most of the field as a matter of fact, and it's going to be Morrissey leading them in. Big strategy call for Caleb Morrissey to stay out and get this tire strategy back in play. Of course, the caution's now going to be putting them back up in front and coming into pit road early, getting that stop. It's going to be make or break for his night, and it might just make a chance at the win. You're going to see now it's going to be Lucas Lodano all up in the front of the field alone, but Kendall Kerr is going to be beaten out by Ryan Potter, Dylan Petit. And from there, you're going to see Kenny Brooks come out with Brad Kress, Scott Zellner, Caleb Morrissey, and then Terry Brooks as DJ Stagner rounds out the top 10 here on pit road. 57 laps in, 19 laps to go this time by. They'll be coming around with only one lap remaining on the caution. So we'll be back at it with 17 laps remaining, and we'll bring back the second portion of your Crank It Up here live on FTN. Saw getting broken up just a bit early in it, so hopefully the rest of the way we'll have a bit more time to understand, of course, all of what's going on with every angle here provided to you by TrackCams22.com. Lucas Lodano leads the way, Kendall Kerr going to be second, Ryan Potter's third. That's the way they run. So far so good with 19 laps to go. And now with the iRacing official pace truck coming around one more full time. It's going to be Lodano, Kerr, and Potter, your podium. Of course, they choose to come down to pit road right now, which they might. Could see Lucas Lodano and Kendall Kerr make it in, which could get them back on the exact same track. Lodano is going to be right there in the number 7 machine. He opts to stay out on the circuit, so he's not going to waver in his confidence, not one bit. He expects another yellow, and that's going to show as he comes across the line this time through to take the race lead. He's going to have that shoes rule in his favor and goes down low with Kendall Kerr opting to go right up top. Going to be then Ryan Potter going down at the bottom. Dylan Petit's going to be up top, and it's going to be high, low as usual. Not many big changes from the field and the back, but we'll get back going once again. 18 to go. Restart coming out with 17 laps to go at lap 59. And Lodano going to be first, Kendall Kerr second, the front row going to stick with us once again here as the iRacing official pace truck is set to go back down to pit road. This is another yellow flag we've had all day, only going to be about our 4th of which so far, so not going to be bad in terms of yellow flags tonight, and we've seen a few weeks with a bit more trouble. Taking a look at the weather on the bottom left of your screen, the track conditions getting fairer and fairer as the night goes on. 74-degree air temperature with winds westward of 8 miles an hour and a partly cloudy sky. Track temperature right now 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's got even cooler as the night gone on, from 108 degrees to begin this one and now down to 95. So as it stands, really no big issue right now for the drivers in terms of track conditions. It's all up to themselves as they come around this time by, as we'll crank it up once again. Here we go with Lodano, Kendall Kerr, Ryan Bonner, this time buying, as always, TrackCams22.com, the highest quality iRacing camera product on the market. TrackCams22.com, your one-stop shop, as we'll be set to crank it up once again. Here we go, led by Logano and Kendall Kerr, too. Front row with two drivers risking it to go long. Rest of your field on the same strategy with only three retirees. Here we go once again. The iRacing official pace truck is going to take it down into pit road indeed. It's going to be time for the drivers to get back in motion. Brickyard's going to see another battle, and with 17 laps to go, we're back on our way. Lucas Logano and Kendall Kerr leading. There's an immediate wreck. Yellow flag is going to fly, and that it does. Caution's out, and with 17 laps to go, we're back under yellow. Kenny Brooks the reason, Caleb Morrissey involved. Let's take a look and find out what in specific happened, as we don't make it past about 5 feet into that restart. And looking back at it, Kenny Brooks going to be there with Morrissey. Morrissey gets a huge run. Just going to get hooked down there. Kenny Brooks gets taken. Going to involve Adam Bozzi. Terry Brooks is going to slide, and just like that, yellow flags out once again. And Brooks hardly keeps it going. Kenny's going to get the worst of it. Terry almost gets even worse, and just like that, yellow's out once again. And now with 17 laps remaining, we find ourselves pacing once more. Lucas Logano leads the way, 59 laps in at a 75, and has that advantage with 17 laps to go. Tell you this much, with all the trouble we've had, we'll be right back after a brief Fireball Talks nonstop, and we'll bring you back with the rest of the action for the rest of the way. As always, Fireball Talks nonstop, you won't miss a thing. You'll have all the info on your screen and the main feed, so even if we've had some trouble, you will not miss any of the action, as we'll be right back, 17 laps to go, live on FTN, and we'll return after the following messages.
This message is brought to you by the rebrand of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This publication may not be reposted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. NASCAR Camping World Ford F-150. NASCAR Xfinity Ford Mustang. NASCAR Cup Series Next-Gen Ford Mustang. Arca Menards. This has been the publication of the redesign and rebranding of Throttle Graphics and Designs. This message may not be reposted, republicated, or rebroadcasted without the authorized written consent of Throttle Graphics and Designs. Thank you, and thanks for your time.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com. Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And returning now with 15 laps to go on the board, Lucas Logano and Kendall Kerr find themselves up in front. Now, unfortunately, not able to get that crank it up really going, but we're hoping to at least try for one more time. However, back-to-back cautions is going to be a bit trickier to get back in the flow of things here. The yellow flags piling up once again after a largely clean race. Unfortunately, some struggles coming in later in the going. Logano, Kerr, Ryan Potter, that is your top three right now, and fourth is going to be occupied then by Dylan Batiste. Fifth place going to be held then by Brad Kress, and then you'll see Scott Zellner also there, swapping it high and low. Lucas Logano can come through this time through turns 3 and 4, and it's going to be up to that number 7 machine to lead the way once again. We'll give it one more crank it up lap with 14 laps to go. Get back in motion for the rest of the night. It's going to be Lucas Logano, Kendall Kerr set to get back at it. The Lucas Oil Chevrolet up high, and it's going to be Lucas Logano right down low in his Dodge. Now the pace car comes down to the inside line. The pace truck makes the move, and here we go once again. Let's hopefully get now past the start-finish line, as it's going to be the number 7 leading the way with 14 laps to go. Coming across the line, this time through, Lucas Logano leads the way with Ryan Potter second, and then Dylan Batiste in third. Going to be Kendall Kerr fourth, and Brad Crescent fifth, with DJ Stagner position number 6, and Brian roll through once again at full speed, and 13 laps to go, making it around yet again. It's going to be now number 64 machine battle with Brad Kress. It's going to be Kress up top, and from there, Stagner down low. The high-low, up-down, downtown mentality of racing once again back in play here in Indy, and after a few yellow flags in short succession, you'll see 13 laps to go gives way to hopefully the final run of the night. And right now up in front for Lucas Logano, he sure hopes it's the final run of the night, looking for his first career victory. This number 7 machine, a Premier Series rookie, making a part-time campaign this year, and he's been as impressive as they come all throughout the campaign. He's had multiple top 5 runs on speed, and now looks for another chance, this time as the leader. 0.8 of a second up. He wants to make sure this is the night they remember the number 7 was here in the Premier Series. It's going to be then Ryan Potter second and Dylan Batiste third. Right on board right now with Dylan Batiste as he fights for the second spot just behind the GeoGuessr number 99. Doesn't do it this time by Dylan Batiste. Right there, the number 31, hoping to chase down Ryan Potter. Second place for Potter is going to be in jeopardy here. You see how much he's wiggling. I mean, Logano is straight, but this number 99 machine, not so much. And he's going to try to bend down to the bottom to keep that spot. Now Dylan Batiste going way down low, knowing that's his only shot to take the pass. And now Ryan Potter's on full defensive mode with 11 laps to go, knowing you can only go down from here if these drivers are not going to catch up to the leader. And there's going to be a very close battle between DJ Stagner and Dylan Batiste at at the same time. So now drivers bunching up as well. Take a look at the wide angle here. It's a bit too wide. We'll take it a bit closer here. Look at this one. Now you'll see side by side, Stagner, Wheeler, they're going to be neck and neck. Dylan Petit still going to have to worry about a lunge in because Stagner not afraid to make that bottom side work after holding himself right up high. So I don't think there's going to be any concern about whether or not this number 64 has speed. The concern now is how he's going to use it to make it back in the final laps. Lucas Logano at the line is a nose of 1 second lead. He's got 1.1 on the dash right now, and he's looking good, sitting pretty up in front. Ryan Potter now going to see as Dylan Petit goes down low. Nothing more he can do but try to race on the high side and use that momentum up top to keep things going. Slipping and sliding up and down. Number 31 machine goes way low in the Caterpillar. 31 gets it going. Stagner's very close as well, and that could be Sutton. But DJ's now going to look down the bottom, try to go for a 3-wide pass. What can he do with it? We'll find out. Low on Dylan Petit, low on Ryan Potter too, and lo and behold, Stagner takes it 3 wide, gets one of them, but now needs to take the next. As Ryan Potter still going to be in second, at least for the time being. But DJ Stagner makes the move and immediately jumps back up into the catbird seat. Huge run there for DJ Stagner. And man, oh man, that number 64 machine comes alive. All of a sudden, now finds himself in the second place in the single digits. 9 laps remain. 9 laps to go, still side by side with Dylan Petit. Not to mention, you'll see Scott Zellner and Alan Cummins is going to be further back with his teammate Jason McKee right there too. The points battle going to be centered in this group right now because Brad Crest came in tonight as your points leader. However, Scott Zellner and Jason McKee are also in that race too, not to mention Adam Bozzi, but Bozzi's further back in 10th. So right now, the leaders of the points race are all in the middle of this group. They're not further up in front right now. They're all going to be hovering in the most populated section of the track. And you'll see Ryan Potter on the wall. That time by the number 99 machine holds on and gets almost into Alan Cummins, but keeps things going. And despite that fact, is now going to be straight in position number 11. Ryan Potter fades back to 11th place, and just like that has to keep things going despite some troubles. Potter holds on, and Harry Brooks is then going to be in 12th, rounding out the top dozen. 68 laps in, Lucas Logano's got the lead with 8 laps to go. Stagner's second, Wheeler's third. That's your podium now. 68 laps in at a 75. Now with Logano having such a major advantage, DJ Stagner might be quicker right now, but the question is how much can he claw down? That time by took about half a second out of his lead, and it might be enough to get him within the next few laps, but now becomes the question of whether or not that number 7 machine can defend. Lucas Logano's got the lead, coming down the front straightaway once again. That number 7 takes it through, and at the stripe, only 7 laps to go. With 7 to go this time by, there's a huge opportunity for Logano to win, and it will be a nice way to do it with that pace up in front. It's been pure pace tonight, but now DJ Stagner clawing right back. Whenever there's a winner line here at a big track like Indianapolis or Daytona, you'll see DJ Stagner rise up to the top of the board. He got it done in the World Center of Racing, and now a chance to do it all over again. Coming through this time by 69 laps in, Lucas Logano, DJ Stagner, and Scott Wheeler are 1, 2, 3, with Zellner not too far back in 4th, and then James McKee in 5th. Brad Crest coming in tonight as your points leader is 6th, and Dylan Petit is then 7th, as Adam Bozzi 8th, and Alan Cummins then in 9th. Coming across the line once more, and now coming into the 70s in terms of laps. You'll see how much closer Stagner is. Take a look off the back bumper. Might not seem like much so far, but if you look at it more and more, you'll see how much time Stagner's making up, and it's substantial through turn 1. Now we'll see through turn 2 what he can really do. And number 64 machine now charging down the back straight with even more pace. 1/10 of a second. Separating the top 2, and Stagner, the man who's gaining. Does he choose to go down low? That he does not. Stays right there in the back bumper. Just has not made the opportunity down low stick. He looks forward, and now is a shot through turn 4. It might just be DJ Stagner making it in. He's going to get blocked once again. Logano's not going to have any of it, and it's going to be with 5 laps to go. A shootout for the race win that continues with DJ Stagner on the offensive. 5 laps to go this time by, and DJ remains in second and only has a tenth to spare between he and the leading man of Lucas Logano. Take a look at this now. This time by, it's going to be DJ Stagner taking it right down low. He's got the shot. He goes side by side, and they're going to bang doors. Logano's still there, and it's not quite over yet, but the number 64 Stagner makes his mark and has it down low. Bottom side has been supreme, notably throughout the racing this week. At Indy, doesn't matter where in iRacing, you often see the low groove work out. And tonight, it looks to work like a charm. And just like that, DJ Stagner's got the race lead with Scott Wheeler also coming up. And all of a sudden, Scott Wheeler's in the picture as well. Don't count out Wheels, as the number 79 machine is no longer here. In its place, it's the number 97. Invert the numbers, same result. And the number 97 of Scott Wheeler comes through. The grandstands block our view, not for much longer. 4 laps to go. Scott is on wheels, and it looks like he's got his teammate there too. Not to mention James McKee's also coming along, and now the biggest fight for the race win we've seen all night long. It's the biggest crowd up in front, all racing for their own respective reasons. You'll see Stagner once again up ahead, proving his worth, and he continues to have a multi-win season in the cards, and he can just make it happen here in Indy. Now, Scott Wheeler needs a rebound run. He has not been running all too well this season. While he's been consistent, he has not been able to show those shocking results that keep him up at the front of the field as a consistent contender for wins and even a title. Lucas Logano is looking to make it happen as a truck to premier convert who's been the best of the bunch, but still hasn't captured a checkered. McKee, Zellner, Kress in the big battle up in the points right now. While McKee and Kress have not yet been able to get it done, Zellner would like to go for win number 4. And while he's in the top 5 right now, that is not enough to keep that points run as hard as it's been, as high as it's been. This number 2 needs a bit more momentum to keep on going. DJ Stagner, 73 laps in, sees Scott Wheeler on the back bumper. He got by one driver, now has to work with the rest of the field, and Wheeler is right there. Scott Wheeler drove as hard as he can to get right back up there, and just like that, he is in the mix for the race win. All the same, the Dent Wizard number 97 right there for the taking with 3 laps to go this time by, and it's going to be 2 coming around the start-finish. Logano's going to fade back to 3rd. James McKee is going to be 4th, and Brad Kress is going to be in 5th. Zellner 6th, and Adam Bozzi is in 7th. Coming through this time by, it's going to be a huge run down the front straightaway. Stagner's got the lead, and they're side by side. Maybe not for long after all, as Wheeler goes down to the bottom, and Scott Wheeler nearly makes something of it. He's going to slide multiple times overcorrecting. No, but he's really working it up and down. Side by side through turn 2 this time. And they stay the same. Just like that, driver of the number 97, it is Scott Wheeler, oh so close once again, but doesn't get it that time by. Now DJ Stagner's got the edge, and that might have been all she wrote. Is there enough momentum? Is there enough in the tank? Literally and figuratively, yellow flag's out, we're going to overtime. And in a whiplash turn of events, Brad Kress goes around. We will be heading into iRacing overtime to finish off the night. How about it? Brad Kress brings out the yellow flag, and we are now heading in to a 2-lap dash. And you'll see Kress is going to be on the bottom there with Lucas Logano beating and banging, and Kress is going to get hooked up the track. And after such a hard-fought fight to indeed get up there and make those spots back, that's how it goes, and that's how it concludes. A hard-fought night for this number 9 machine, and Brad Kress, who made it happen lap after lap to get up in the top 5, ends up getting hooked up top, and that's what's going to bring the yellow flag out with 3 laps to go. Now, an overtime finish is going to be in play. DJ Stagner leads, Scott Wheeler's in 2nd, and James McKee is now in 3rd. Expecting pit row to get busy once again, and this will be the final opportunity. This is the last yellow flag no matter what, and here in the Highline Racing League, only 1 overtime attempt. The longest the race can possibly go. No matter what happens, this is it. Another caution, it ends the race, and a checkered flag, if we get to it under the green, well, that's going to be it regardless. So it is going to be here and now. 3 laps to go. Stagner, Wheeler, and McKee as we get set for a 2-lap dash. It's going to be a green, white checkered, and an overtime of sorts, the one and only attempt on the day. And now you'll see drivers coming down to pit road. It's going to be a 50-50 split. Back of field comes in, front of field, not so much. And just like that, pit road gets busy, but not too major. So to tell you this much, we'll be right back after a brief promotional break, courtesy of our friends at the Beckman Designs MX-5 Beyond Series. In return, just a brief message on the way, and then the rest of the racing will be presented uninterrupted. 3 laps to go in our overtime attempt on the night, and we'll get back at it after these brief messages, courtesy of Beckman Designs, the MX-5 Miata Series. And now coming back with 3 laps remaining. Kenny Real and chat, great to have you stopping by as you've come in at the right time. 3 laps to get it done, and this is, as we've been watching all night long, the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150. And now, heading into overtime procedure, it's do or die, and this is it no matter what. Whether or not this is going to be a longer run with 2 laps on the table, if we get a yellow flag immediately, race ends regardless. This is it. The determining factors whenever we get that caution. If we don't get a yellow flag, then we'll be able to get to the end. We just have to get to that white flag to make it there. Checkers or wreckers after the white flag, that is it regardless. And then given the circumstance, everything is official from this point onwards. The yellow flag will conclude the race. A checker flag under green gets the race done as well. So it's either or, but it could go both ways. And the way the night's gone, and a few more yellow flags late in the going, it might just go both ways. Choose rule going to be enacted one more time, and now time to see them come through. It's the front stretch in use, and time to see who goes high and who opts to go low. And Stagner opts to go to the bottom side. Wheeler going to take high, just like that. More drivers coming in. Just like that, the choose rule put into use one more time. 2 laps to wrap this show off, and it's been a great run here at Indy. 79 laps, that's the total we'll get up to tonight. DJ Stagner's set to get it done, but he's still got to make it 5 more miles at the most, maybe 500 more feet at the least. All depends on the field right now. They're at the mercy, the leaders are at the mercy of the other drivers, and if chaos continues, we could see this race end here and now like it's nothing. As the field comes through this time by Stagner, McKee, Scott Zellner right there as well, all coming around. It's going to be the final dying moments of an event that's been as exciting as it could get. The Brickyard does not disappoint and continues to show hard-fought racing from start to finish, from tail to tail. It's been all great, but some yellow flags coming late, as we've seen recently, has been quite a trend. So unfortunately, it might end this race early. Now we're hoping to get there to that white flag, but if not, the results will be rolling on the screen before we even hit the checkered flag. A yellow flag due to fly if there's any other incident, and that will officially be the end of this race. One and only overtime attempt. And coming through this time by Stagner and James McKee, the first 2 men on that front row will lead them down. One more chance. Overtime attempt, 1 out of 1. You do it here, or you don't get it done at all. That's the game plan, and now they'll go through and finish this one off in style. The Brickyard comes alive one more time with 5 miles left on the table, 2 laps to go. Stagner gets the jump, and there's already going to be contact. There's already going to be a wreck. Is that the end? I think it is. DJ Stagner wins, and that's how it ends. It ends on the front straightaway, and that's the race. Allen Cummins goes around, and it's going to be the night done. A yellow flag brings us to its conclusion on the front straightaway. What a way to end it. I mean, we've seen this twice this season. Take a look back at this once again. Looks like Cummins going to miss it, and he just goes into Jacob Hahn, slides back down, hits Kendall Kerr, and that's it. Stagner wins. The race is over. Huge chaos after. And just like that, yellow and checkers, it is DJ Stagner, your race winner. And how about it? Top 3 already decided, and the results are effectively frozen. Now, drivers are going to be pacing around 2 more times. We know who's going to be on the podium at this point. However, it looks like they're sorting out the field, so looking for a timing loop to decide what's going on. And it looks like the pace truck coming in this time by. Caleb Morrissey disconnects. He's 15 laps down. Just like that. Now, Stagner gets back on the way. James McKee right there. Scott Wheeler going to be in third. With 2 laps to go, we already have seen who wins and who does not. So it's already been said and done. We're going to wait to get the pacing over with, but it's unfortunate to see a yellow flag ending so quickly. Yellow flag flies on the front straightaway with 2 laps to go, and that's going to end the race here in Indianapolis. Yellow flag out once again, and Stagner wins it. That's his 2nd win of the season. James McKee comes home on the podium, and Scott Wheeler rounds out the top 3. So, fortunately, for a lot of drivers who had great speed tonight, they just don't get a chance to show it. Stick around for top 3 interviews as we're trying to get at least our race winner in. The way things have gone, a bit of a late night once again, so we might have to stick with just our winner for this one. But either way, as they come around once again at the line, Stagner, white flags out, and he's going to make it official, but still 1 more lap to do so. The final lap in Indianapolis is going to be ran under pacing, so with some time, we'll take a look at our results here and hope to keep the mood right here. So it's unfortunately a yellow flag ending it the moment we get things started. Some 2 long pace laps as DJ Stagner will win over James McKee and Scott Wheeler then in third. Going to be Scott Zellner 4th and Lucas Lodano in 5th, Bozzy 6th, Jacob Hamm 7th, and Brad Kress then in 8th. Position number 9 going to be held then by Kendall Kern. Ryan Potter is going to be 10th. And from there on out, it's going to be Terry Brooks in 11th, Dylan Petit in 12th, and Kenny Brooks in 13th. Coming going to be 14th, and 16 laps down, it's Caleb Morrissey with Justin Gibbs, Michael Deitch, and Tyler Rush officially disconnecting from the session. And that's going to be it. Night is over, and when it comes to the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150, unfortunately, that's the way it ends, and we've seen this before, but it's an egregious example. I mean, coming through on the front straightaway, and as we mentioned, you either make it 5 miles or you make it 500 feet. And unfortunately tonight, we see the latter. DJ Stagner, I mean, he deserved this one 110%. He had a lot going for him tonight, had to fight against the adversity, and a great field with guys like Lodano, Zellner, McKee, Wheeler. Unfortunately, a great race shaping up to have a great finish, and it just gets cut short. Great for DJ Stagner, though, keeping the fight alive, and Zellner, after tonight's race, is set to be our points leader as he continues his hot streak and keeps it going, and it looks like an underdog fight for the championship with the all-time winningest driver in the league. It continues, but DJ Stagner takes it around the line, this time by to celebrate a victory, and here in Indianapolis, the field will take it out of the circuit, and DJ Stagner will be awarded the checkered flag in the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150. The Brickyard is his, and the number 64 gets it done. DJ Stagner will win from Indianapolis and get it done under yellow here in our only overtime attempts. And a quiet Indianapolis Motor Speedway goes out with a whimper. Stagner already going to be sliding down to the apron, and they're all burn out immediately thereafter. Checker flag falls. DJ Stagner gets it done, and we'll have our race-winning interview as a result of this one. Stagner going to be first, James McKee second, and Scott Wheeler then in third. I mean, how about this one ending under yellow like that? 80 laps of racing comes out of that. 79 complete, and we get to that 80th, and it's just that. Yellow flag ending. Stagner set to celebrate. He gets spun and now goes back on the way with DJ Stagner and wrap off the show here in FTN. And either way, great racing all throughout. Just unfortunate to see we've seen these yellow flag endings one too many times this season. And happening again is a very bad sign, unfortunately. Just happens with the racing nature sometimes. Aggression's been seen a lot throughout the season as opposed to the prior 2 we've broadcasted here on the channel. And with aggression in mind, the number 64 Stagner able to play it safe, get the win. As a result, gets some congratulatory rubs on the wheel wells, but still, Stagner gets it done all the same. At the high side of the track, DJ Stagner beginning that celebration, and he's going to get that number 64 machine all the way up to the start-finish line. Now you'll see it pushing Ryan Potter, sends him around. Just like that, the burnout going to begin for the man who gets it done. Stagner looking to take it to the front stretch and begin that celebration as we'll begin to watch. Stagner takes it into pit road, that time by, and just like that, the celebration has concluded for DJ Stagner. Leaves us and he goes down to pit road to finish off the night. Stagner gets it done. He's going to take it for a wild ride to wrap off the night. Looks like he's going to send it deep. He gets back on the track either way and goes around for another run. Just like that, DJ Stagner comes through the race win, continues to burn down the house, gets it loose, spins it for a 360, gets it going once again. So Stagner continues the fun after a race win in Indianapolis, back on top. And I'll tell you this much, the Brickyard did not come easy, and Stagner gets it through all the way. Just like that, Stagner, a race winner who will take it down to the bottom of the track, and his race ends with a burnout. A celebration to remember for Stagner to get it done 2 times this season, and back on top, the former series champion wins here from Indianapolis. DJ Stagner, first on the day here at Indy, and the other yellow, but still a great run all throughout. How do you feel winning it here from the Yard of Bricks?
Hey, that was right there. That was a really fun race. I mean, Indy's not a track that we go to very often in any leagues, so to come back here was really fun. It was different. I had a good time out there tonight. Everybody at Highline was great. I mean, what did we have, like 4 or 5 cautions? I mean, it wasn't really a caution fest. It was a fairly clean race. So many strategies. Like, it was almost hard to keep up with what was going on strategy-wise. So it was a race that really had everything.
And absolutely having everything, all the chaos, all those long run moments. I mean, we saw, as you said, a lot of everything. So how was it for you to manage the strategy with all that going on around you? The chaos really keeping a driver unsteady, but you seem to be able to play it out quite well.
Well, you know, Ryan Potter, he pitted there on the last caution, and he was going to take tires and leapfrog the field, and he was actually going to be in the catbird seat, but something didn't go through, so he got stuck on the other strategy, which didn't work. But, I mean, really, I thought that about halfway through, I made the wrong decision and was on the wrong strategy, and it was... Honestly, there were a few things that just so happened to fall, and then a couple 3-wide moves. That really was the difference in getting the track position back. Without all that, I mean, I really feel like I had probably the best, maybe second. I mean, Zellner was incredibly fast all night too. Me and him and Wheeler, we were 1, 2, 3 there. I think any of us could have won given strategy, but I really thought I messed up. So just for everything to play out the way it did, it was pretty cool, pretty refreshing.
Able to make it happen, playing it cool, getting it done on another big track, been the best of them all year long. DJ Stagner, the campaign, brings it back with some success. Now, next up on the tour, it's Bristol, baby. It's going to be the last great Coliseum, so we're going to keep things exciting. How's it going to be if you go back to Bristol to maybe try for another?
Well, you know, Bristol, I would consider my single best racetrack on the sim. So I'm always super, super excited whenever I hear we're going to Bristol next. So I really feel confident in Bristol. That's like one of maybe 3 or 4 tracks that I'm confident in. Like, I understand the track and I know everything about it. So I love Bristol. I wish leagues went to it more. It's really fun. It doesn't really race like a traditional short track. At most short tracks in iRacing, you know, you have a lot of caution fest. Bristol typically isn't like that. I mean, it's typically, you'll get these stretches of 30, 40, 50 laps that are green, and it can be, Bristol's, Bristol has a soft place in my heart. I love Bristol.
And looking to keep the success going at Bristol, coming for a short track to next week. That's going to be a big track tonight. DJ Stagner getting it done in the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150. Anything more you'd like to add after this one?
Thank you to everybody at Swap Motorsports. Ryan ran a great race tonight, and Dylan Poteet was there with us helping out. Ty hopped in late and helped out everybody over there. It was a good race. I had a lot of fun. Shout out to everybody who runs Highline. I mean, Kendall, Toby, Adam, all the admin team. It's Highline. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Highline, honestly, is one of the most solid leagues that I've ever seen. I mean, for it to go on as long as it has, that in and of itself speaks volumes. So, shout out to all of them for just putting on a great product.
And the product doesn't disappoint for DJ Stagner. Victory lane once again this season. The crooked number brings it to Indianapolis and comes through the 64 on top. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
But DJ Stagner on the move. He gets it done with James McKee, your second place driver. And the 29 tonight comes home in the runner-up spot. For James McKee, 29 machine comes through with a podium finish. And while there wasn't a chance to really go for the win, still a very solid top three. So how's it feel after this one?
Stings a little bit. I was hoping it would go green there. I thought I had better tires than DJ. I felt like he burned it up that last run, and I was making ground, and then the caution came out, unfortunately.
And the yellow flag really costing a shot to go for that race win, but overall managing strategy very well. And that's what kept you up there until the very end, of course, making a great run. Podium finish amidst the ever-continuous points battle, so a lot of these races in the later stage mean that much more. How was it getting this podium finish and working the strategy out when we had so many different combinations going out?
I mean, it's good to get a top two. That's good for the points. Got to try to hold Zellner at bay a little bit, and he's on a hot streak. So hopefully we can keep him behind and hopefully stay up towards the front of the points and come out with it.
And hoping to keep things moving, as we mentioned, we're going up to Bristol next week, a short track after a big circuit here in Indy. So with that being said, what's going to take this sort of momentum from the bigger circuits we've been visiting all the way down to the half-mile track in Bristol, Tennessee?
We're all going to need a lot of Jesus for next week because our track record at short tracks isn't very good. So hopefully we'll be all right and stay out of the wreckage.
And hoping to keep things clean, the number 29 machine comes home with a second place finish tonight. Runner-up here in Indy. Anything else you'd like to add?
I appreciate you interviewing me. But great job as always. Love your broadcast.
There we have it. James McKee, second place on the day, getting home with a podium finish here in the Tex-A-Con Cut Stone 150. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
Now, McKee on the move. One more man to speak with here. Scott Wheeler with his best run throughout the season. This number 97, been a bit quieter this season, but still pulls home for a very solid podium. Dent Wizard number 97, third place on the day, and just like that, coming through with the top three. How do you feel after a night here that ends in chaos?
A little disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I think I had enough to probably compete for the win, but sometimes that's just how it goes. So, yeah, just keep trying, I guess.
And unfortunately, the chance taken away, of course, at the end there, but still, great run overall. A lot of guys were on the same strategy as you up in front, but many different choices available. So how was it mixing the long runs and the short runs to come into one final decision?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the track felt different than that last run. I wasn't really that fast for the first 2/3 of the race, and then at the end, I just found the breaking point, kind of like last week, and that brought me there. So fuel would have been interesting if we went green a little bit longer. It looked a little bad at first when we didn't take tires, some of us, and just fuel on that second caution, but it all worked out in the end somewhat. So would have liked to see it go green, but that's just how it goes.
And unfortunately, no chance to go green tonight, but we could have a chance at Bristol. Now, it's a short track, always chaotic, but you never know the way things have gone this season, what's going to take to keep this good momentum going and maybe bring home another podium at the last great Coliseum.
Survive, probably. Hopefully we run more green laps than we do cautions. But yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a bigger track, if you will. As far as width goes, so we shouldn't see too many cautions, hopefully. But you never know; the cars are so sensitive. So just surviving, qualify well, and just avoid the chaos that is going to ensue.
And hoping to stay alive to next week. It's going to be Scott Wheeler, a third place finish here in the number 97. Anything else you'd like to add after this race?
Yeah, I just want to thank my teammates like always. It's a blast racing with them, just talking strategy. They were rooting me on all the way till the end there. Everybody that puts on the league. It was a good race tonight, probably one of our best of the season, honestly. And then you for doing the broadcast. I appreciate you doing interviews. I was giving Jimmy a hard time. I said he bullied you into doing them when you're not feeling the greatest. So we appreciate everything you do each and every week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's always great to watch it back, and it's a blast having you guys here. So, we'll go into next week, and hopefully next time I get interviewed, I'm in the number one spot.
And hoping to find that victory lane. Scott Wheeler with some big gains tonight. Third place on the day. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
But Scott Wheeler on the move. That is your podium ceremony for tonight's event. Scott Wheeler, your third place driver. James McKeon second, and DJ Stagner gets it done under yellow. A chaotic night, but we'll have to close up shop here at FTN after 4 great hours of broadcasting. We'll have to come to a close. Thank you all for watching live on FTN. I've been David Kreutz doing the doubleheader alone, and tonight a bit more trouble, but either way, a lot of fun all throughout, and we hope you enjoyed the presentation we had for you, not only tonight in the Iora Cup Series, but in addition, we also had ourselves some great fun here in the Highline Racing League. So if you enjoyed the broadcast, be sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. Thank you all for watching once again live on FTN, and we hope that y'all have a fantastic night.